What is up, guys? It's Brillymister here, and welcome to my updated Corporeal Beast, or Corporeal Beast. Someone did comment on the last video that I said it wrong, but I'm going with it, Corporeal Beast. My previous guide was from 2012, and if any of you have watched my PVM with old guide series, you might have noticed that a 7-year-old guide is a little bit outdated now, so I decided to redo it as, whilst it's not a massively high level boss now, it is still a very enjoyable boss, and you can still make a consistent like 4 mil an hour just from like the Onyx bolts and the cannonball drops without even really lucking out on getting a sigil, as the sigils are pretty rare. They're like 1 in 2,500 chance. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so you're notified of all my future updates, and there's also a link to the Discord server down in the description below. Let's get into the guide. So some of the basic requirements for killing Corp, or at least killing Corp solo somewhat effectively, you're going to want to have at least sort of 85 plus in your melee stats. This allows you to use the Mizuari, which is a lot more effective than using like a chaotic spear or anything like that. 70 prayer, at least so you can use piety with protect mage. 95 prayer, however, is much better, so you can use turmoil and still protect mage really well. And you also, I would recommend 96 herb lore. That allows you to use overloads. However, they're not really necessary. You can get away with using extremes, and as we're not using brews and restores here, then it's not going to kill your stats and you're not going to go through them too quick. So extremes will work perfectly fine here. Another requirement which is actually set into the game is the Summer's End quest being complete, as that is basically a requirement to actually even get to Corp. But it's a fairly easy quest and it shouldn't take you too long to do. So the main two ways of getting to Corporeal Beast, the first one, which most people I imagine will do, is use the games necklace. There's an option on there where you can teleport to Corporeal Beast, and then you just have to run east through all the final caverns, and from there you can then start an instance or just enter into the world one. The other way of getting there, which is the preferred method if you have got it unlocked, is you can just tune your max guild teleport to go straight to the Corporeal Beast, and it will teleport you directly outside of the cavern, and you can go straight in from there. It really does speed up banking time, so if you do have the max guild unlocked, then definitely use the max guild portal. If not, the game's necklace is still very quick to be able to bank and get back quite easily. So for the worn equipment here, I've kind of put best end sort of scenario. So it doesn't matter if you downgrade from here. I mean, Torva and Animal Core will work fine. You don't need to use Masterwork. You can probably even get away with Bandos, and if you're duoing, you can definitely get away with Bandos. Same with the amulets. I'd use a Blood Fury. But if you need to use an Amulet of Souls for a little bit extra defense, or the Reaper Necklace to build your accuracy up, as that is the main bottleneck on your damage here, is because the Mizuari is only like tier 85, so you're not as accurate as you could be. Also, Cinderbane gloves for anything that are poisonable, as always, are best in slot for damage. But if you don't have them, again, Torva gloves, Bandos gloves, even the Barrows gloves from the Colomancer's chest in Lumbridge, anything will work fine glove-wise, really. The Luck of the Dwarves is definitely the ring that I would recommend you use, as it does increase your chance of getting a sigil. However, they are still very, very rare, and you probably shouldn't expect to get. And I got like 1,400 Corp kills, and I've only got one. I got quite lucky as a divine, but they're not worth that much anyway now. The most of the GP you make is from getting the Onyx bolts and the cannonball drops. Scrimshaw of Vampirism makes it allow you to not use as much food. Like, you're going to have to eat here, but it's very quick to bank, so that's not the end of the world. But it'll allow you to minimise your food usage. For the weapon, Mizuari is what I recommend, as it doesn't degrade and it does really good DPS. Chaotic Spear is slightly down from there, and then Zamorakian Spear is even further down. You can get a Superior Vesta Spear, which you can use an armour patch on, or it might be a weapon patch for that. However, this is a very expensive way of doing it, and it's only tier 88, so it's not a massive improvement over the Mizuari. And finally, armor spikes just add a nice bit of extra DPS for very minimal cost. So for your inventory, it's quite a basic setup here. Even with max gear and using a Vampirism or Scrimshaw, one overload for basically a half-hour trip is kind of where you sort of sit. It's very quick to bank as well, even if you're using a games necklace. There's no point bringing a second one. So I only bring 6 prayer pots, as that's enough to, again, last me the whole half an hour. I use an enhanced Excalibur just for a bit of extra healing, and sometimes you can go 2 or 3 kills without using food, but then it'll suddenly hit you like a lorry and you'll have to nail like 4 in one kill. But the enhanced Excalibur is nice for a bit of extra healing. The games necklace there for if you do need that to teleport to Corp. If not, then you can just take an extra food or leave it blank so you can pick up a drop or something. And other than that, just use whatever food you want. I use sailfish just because they're what I have in my bank, but rocktails or shark will both work perfectly fine as well. So I've got here a full corp kill, so I can kind of show you how you go through it. There's not a massive amount of mechanics to Corporeal Beast. There's no sort of nothing you have to avoid it really. You kind of just stand there and DPS it down. It's a very old school, like pre-EOC boss. So all you have to do really is DPS it down. I prioritise using Assault to get extra damage on it, and I use Debilitate just to lower its damage a little bit, and then I have Quake and Hurricane on my action bar, and I save them for whenever the core comes out. You can deal with the core really easily. One Quake or one Hurricane is generally enough to completely kill it. If not, if you have on your action bar Cleave as your first basic ability, even if you don't finish it off with your Quake or your Hurricane, then your Cleave's going to finish it off, and you don't really have to worry about it. As long as you've got one of those threshold abilities off cooldown, then the core is of no trouble to you. And all you have to do really is just DPS it down. Make sure you're using as many damaging abilities as you can. And that is pretty much it. As you can see here, it is very nearly killed, and I didn't think I used any food that kill. I might have used one, but it is really that simple. If you have lower gear, it might be a little bit harder, but it won't be anything crazy hard really. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you did all enjoy the video, and this does help you into getting either your first few solo corp kills if you haven't killed it now and you're sort of like a low to mid-level player, or just helps you improve your setup if you are a high-level player and you want to camp it for a pet or to actually get some of those sigils. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and until next time, see ya.